Indians and dogs not allowed. This used to be a line pasted across establishments in colonial India when the Britishers had their fun under the sun. They used to mock and sneer at the Indians, made jokes about the color of our skin, all the while remaining in our country and enjoying its possessions. While India has grown leaps and bounds, the subtle racism of Britishers continues, albeit in a different shape and form. The UK last week brought in a rule that promotes vaccine racism by stating that those inoculated with both doses of Covishield will be considered unvaccinated. The rule is targeted at India, which has inoculated majority of its population with the said vaccine. Hi and welcome. You're watching TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Piyush, and in this video I will tell you how UK's new vaccination rule reeks of colonial hangover. Still in their colonial slumbers, the United Kingdom recently passed a confounding rule stating that Indian travellers who had received both doses of Oxford-AstraZeneca developed Covishield vaccine manufactured by the Serum Institute of India will be considered unvaccinated. To add injury to insult, the rule adds that double vaccinated Indians will have to undergo mandatory hard quarantine for 10 days. The decision has left experts and commoners perplexed because the majority of the population in the UK has been vaccinated with the same vaccine that the Indians have been inoculated with. The AstraZeneca and Oxford researched the vaccine while it was manufactured in India by Serum Institute of India in bulk quantities. Under the new rules, only people who have got both shots of a double-dosed vaccine such as Oxford-AstraZeneca, Pfizer-BioNTech or Moderna, or a single-shot Janssen vaccine under an approved vaccination program in the UK, Europe, US or UK vaccine programs overseas will be considered fully vaccinated. The new rules become operational from October 4th. To whitewash its racism and xenophobia, the British government described the move as an attempt by the UK to change the current red, amber, green traffic light system to a single red list of countries and simplify travel measures for arrivals from around the world. Adhar Poonawalla, CEO of Serum Institute of India, stated that Covishield and the AstraZeneca vaccine are identical, and yet the Western governments not being able to come up with one regulatory quantity standard for vaccine trials and travel passports. Poonawalla remarked, Covishield is identical to AstraZeneca vaccine and the data has been submitted to the UK, MHRA and EU regulators. I have had personal consultations with the regulators in the UK and EU and expect a response shortly. We will ensure vaccines made in India are approved in other countries. However, the underlying theme of the decision reeks of a colonial hangover which is eerily reminiscent in that of the British Raj era, where Indians and dogs were not allowed in most of supposedly aristocratic English establishments. The Indian government has rightfully lodged its apprehension regarding the brain fade of a decision. India's External Affairs Minister S. J. Shankar, while meeting UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, raised the issue and called for an early resolution of quarantine issue in mutual interest. Jaishankar tweeted after the meeting, pleased to meet the new UK Foreign Secretary at Truss. Liz discussed the progress of Roadmap 2030, appreciated her contribution on the trade side, engaged views on developments in Afghanistan and the Indo-Pacific, urged early resolution of quarantine issue in mutual interest. The issue of vaccine racism even brought the usually divisive opposition of the country together. Thiruvananthapuram MP Shashi Tharoor took to Twitter and remarked that he had cancelled several of his events in the UK due to the offensive rule. Tharoor tweeted, because of this I have pulled out of a debate at Cambridge Union and out of lunch events for the UK edition of my book #The Battle of Belonging, published there as #The Struggle for India's Soul. It is offensive to ask fully vaccinated Indians to quarantine. The Brits are reviewing. Jairam Ramesh, another Congress leader, called the rules racist. He tweeted, absolutely bizarre considering Covishield was originally developed in UK and the Serum Institute Pune has supplied to that country too. If the UK considers itself superior, which it certainly is not, and thinks that it will get away with the rule, then it is sadly mistaken. European Union tried to do the same but had to face the wrath of the Modi government and quickly reverted on its decision. As reported by TFI, the EU in June had denied vaccine passports to those inoculated with Covishield and homegrown Bharat Biotech's Covaxin. Miffed by the discriminatory behavior of the top European body, the government categorically stated that it will not recognize the EU's digital COVID certificate until it recognizes Indian vaccines Covishield and Covaxin in the certificate. Within 24 hours of showing its might and issuing a stern warning to the EU that New Delhi will put its travelling citizens in mandatory quarantine if they touch down in India, the EU nations surrendered before the Modi government. 8 EU states, Germany, Slovenia, Austria, Greece, Iceland, Ireland, Spain and Switzerland in June included Covishield in their list of approved vaccines required to travel to the continent. Furthermore, Estonia became the first nation in Europe to recognize both Indian vaccines, Covaxin and Covishield. The UK's decision comes at a time when the Indian government has been constantly working with allied nations regarding the easing of travel restrictions. During his visit to the UK in July, Foreign Secretary Shringla called for the early removal of travel restrictions for Indians. He had cited the example of France, which has already cleared travellers from India without quarantine if they are fully vaccinated and had a negative COVID test. The roaring success of mass vaccination program in the country, which has already administered over 81 crore vaccine doses, has miffed the foreign pharma giants. Despite tremendous pressure from the lobby, India didn't submit and allowed foreign pharma to set up camp and sell their highly overpriced vaccine. Miffed at not getting a piece of the pie for the biggest markets in the world, the pharma giants are silently pressuring the likes of the UK to bring in such rules so that India can be insulted.